A study investigated rates of fatalities among patients with serious traumatic injuries. Among 61,909 patients transported by helicopter, 7,813 died. Among 161,566 patients transported by ground services, 17,775 died. Based on data from Association between Helicopter versus Ground Emergency Medical Services and Survival for Adults with Major Trauma by Galvango et al., Journal of the American Medical Association, Volume 307, Number 15. We want to use a 1% level of significance to test the claim that the rate of fatalities is higher for patients transported by helicopter. And we first want to test the claim with a hypothesis test. So the null hypothesis for this is that the first and second proportions are equal. The alternative is we are letting the first proportion here be for the patients transported by helicopter. So let me put P1 is for the patients transported by helicopter. Transported by helicopter. So because of that, P1 would be greater than P2. And we can put our data into this Excel template I have here to the right. So the sample size was, not that one, sample size for this particular one was 61,909, and the number of successes, meaning the number that died for this, was 7,813. For the sample size of the ground services, that was 161,566, and then for the number of successes, that's 17,775 that died. And for this particular hypothesis test, we can see that we have ourselves a p-value of exactly 0. And our z-score, right there up here, according to this, was 10.75. And we could also see that the difference between these two was 1.62% or 0.0162. But to write our conclusion of this hypothesis test, and let me type that on here, this will be at the 1% level of significance. And of course, 0 is definitely less than 1%. At the 1% level of significance, we have sufficient evidence to claim that the rate of fatalities, is higher for the patients transported by helicopter. Then for the test in the claim with the 98% level confidence interval, based upon what we have in this template, we need to change this confidence level to 98%. So from this, we have a lower bound. Actually, I'll write that out. Lower bound. We have a lower bound. We have a lower bound of 1% 1.26%, so 0.0126, and then the upper bound is 1.98%, so 0.0198. And then writing that out as a sentence would be give myself some room to write this. This would be at the excuse me. We are 98% confident that the difference in the rate of fatalities between patients transported by helicopter and patients transported by ground services is between 0.0126 for the lower bound and 0.0198 from the upper bound.